This is Talk 650, powered by CBS Radio.
10 years ago, there was a very popular movie called Pay It Forward.
Yes.
A child's school assignment was to think of something to change the world and put it into action. Well, he conjures the notion of paying a favor, not back, but forward. Repaying good deeds, not with payback, but with new good deeds done to, say, 3 new people.
Mm-hmm.
So, fast forward to 2011, in a world in desperate need of good thoughts and good deeds, Brian James Figat has taken on the mighty task of trying to make this a better world, one good deed at a time.
Yeah.
And he started here in Houston. His method is called the Encouragement Project, and he's here this morning to tell us how it got started and how it's going. So good morning, Brian. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so how did it get started and how's it going?
When I was a little kid, 8 years old, I would always tell my mother, I either want to be a psychologist or I want to be a bartender. It didn't take long. When I grew up, she said, okay, you need to learn. These are about the same thing. So I've always kind of had this inclination inside of me to help people. And what that did is it led me towards internships, and eventually I became on staff as a creative arts pastor at a church just south in Houston. And it was just during the time of the economic downturn, and you could just see the heads being held a little bit lower and people not, I looked at them and that was not the life they were created to live. It's like there was this cloud over them.
Yeah.
And you just, when I see people like that, you just want to shake them out of it and remind them what's important, what's good in this life. So we took the very simple concept of giving, and we did a very simple fundraiser, give up 1 cup of coffee once a week. We donated it together for a couple months, raised a whole lot of money, and we turned around and we just started doing random acts of kindness in the community.
All right, you say we. Did you get together with a group of people and say, let's do this?
Yes, we actually had a team of volunteers. We grabbed 2 groups, actually, and we gave them just a stack of money and said, go out and start giving to people randomly.
I heard about that. You did that with a church, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And you gave them, what, $100 bills? Something like that?
We did. At this point, what we did is we actually gave both teams just a stack of money and said, go out, and it was just as much about their journey to learn how to give as it was the giving they did. In this one, we did washer and dryers. They paid for people's groceries, medications, all sorts of things.
Who's funding this?
It's actually funded by small businesses, and we have a lot of sponsors that come on board with us who just kind of see what we're doing, and they have this heart for the community as well.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for, is actually businesses who are actually involved in the community and have a heart to see something change inside of people in the community.
Now, there was an anecdotal story about doing this down at Discovery Green, and you ran across a kid that had some challenges.
Yes.
And he lit up like a Christmas tree when he had the opportunity to participate in it. Can you tell that story?
Yeah, it was one of the unintended consequences that we get to see as we do this. As soon as you open a door, we just have seen little tiny miracles happen every single time we set out. We met Corwin, and just a little guy heading out, and what we had done is, this is the $100 project. We just gave some teams $100, said, we need you to spend this on other people in 15 minutes.
Here's $100. You can't spend it on you.
Yes, no money-wise. Just go out and buy people things and do it in acts of kindness for people. And that was it.
Let me stop you here. Now, and I saw the video on that, which was great, by the way. That's such a cool thing. But now, you walk up to somebody at Discovery Green, you give them a $100 bill and say, all right, go ahead and spend it on somebody. Is the first thing they do is look around for cameras, or if they think this is a joke?
Where's Alan Funt?
Or Ashton, what's going on? Do you get that kind of a reaction?
Sometimes they're looking up in the air for answers first, because it's a shock to the system a little bit, and that's kind of what we look to do, is kind of take people and shake them out of just the mundane. Just the regular average day, you can buy a cup of coffee, all of a sudden people's days are looking different, and they're looking for something, for cameras maybe, for who's watching me. But these people were pretty much enthusiastic. The people that we found, the right people, when they do it, they weren't even thinking about that, because you could see them zero in on other people. And we tend to find these people every time that we go out. We find the people who have these hearts for others, and they just tunnel vision and focus.
Do you debrief them? Do you talk to them after that experience and say, okay, has your life changed a little bit here?
Definitely. That's actually how we learned about Corwin. It was just a passing comment from his mom. This little guy, again, he has autistic tendencies.
Oh.
This is not something we knew until after the project, because we saw a little kid who was dynamite out there handing, his mom had bought honey at the farmer's market out there, and he just started handing it out, running up to ladies with flowers. Most guys won't do that. And he was like, okay, let's do that. And he'd run up to these couple of women with flowers, and he was just on fire, this little smile on his face. Found out afterwards that his mom just had this shocked look. Or like, as you said, debriefing her, she explained to us, she's like, he doesn't do that. He doesn't connect with people very well. He actually stays in his own little world because he has autistic tendencies.
Yeah.
That was, after we were going back over our footage, we saw, oh my gosh, it was almost an afterthought of like, oh my gosh, this little kid really had a transformation. And she realized that giving actually started opening a door for him to connect with people.